Kid Rock has released a fiery video message calling out Pearl Jam and other artists who he says are afraid to call out Ticketmaster or criticize them because they are frequently working with them through their tours and their ticket sales. Now, of course, Ticketmaster has been under intense scrutiny amidst a probe from the DOJ, which has launched an antitrust lawsuit against Ticketmaster, who, of course, merged with Live Nation years ago. There's been a lot of controversy with that. It's a complicated and very nuanced subject because ticket prices are high for a number of reasons. The reality is that touring costs have inflated significantly when you think about things like cost of transportation, costs of having so many people out on the road with you, so many professionals on the road. Those costs have increased. The cost of gas, the cost of tour bus are outrageous. I know this from so many artists that I talk to, but also at the same time, you have these crazy resale values. You have dynamic pricing and things like that. So I want to take a look at what Kid Rock had to say. He also showed off this sort of robot scanner thing that he has that shows whether or not you're a human. Now, another thing that he's proposing is that you should just be buying tickets in person, which would eliminate the bots. I would love to know what you all think about that as well. As always, there are a lot of people proposing solutions to this issue, and I'd love to hear your opinions down in the comments. Here's what we know about the situation with Ticketmaster, Kid Rock, and Pearl Jam. Kid Rock has just thrown down the gauntlet, publicly challenging one of the biggest rock bands in the world to prove they aren't cowards. He's looking to start a fight, but it's not the fight that you might expect. In that fiery new statement posted on social media, Kid Rock absolutely unloaded on Ticketmaster, accusing the company of ripping off both fans and artists for decades. He didn't mince words either, saying, quote, "They've us for years. I hope they all go down." He made it clear his main goal is to fix ticketing for the fans so they can actually buy tickets for the price that artists set them at. But then he turned his attention to his fellow musicians, calling out artists who he says are too scared to speak up against the ticketing giant. He warned, quote, "A lot of them will out straight up. All these outlaw country singers, they'll be a bunch of puss when they should speak up for their fans." And that's when he took aim at the legendary grunge band Pearl Jam, referencing their famous battle with Ticketmaster from back in the day. Kid Rock issued a direct challenge. He said, "Let's see if Pearl Jam steps up. They wanted to fix ticketing years ago, so calling your bluff right now, let's see what happens." And here is that fiery message from Kid Rock, calling out the artists he says that are scared to speak up against Ticketmaster.
So, there were some of the people in the business talking about ticketing that when President Trump did that executive order with me in the Oval Office, that these know-it-alls out in California were like, "Oh, they're just showboating, really did nothing." What he did was he ordered the FTC and the Department of Justice to go investigate, see what the hell's going on with ticketing. Well, guess what? They investigated. And what happened? They filed a lawsuit against Ticketmaster. Because clearly they found out that those motherfuckers are crooks, and they've been crooks for decades, over the public, over artists. Now somehow, can I flip this phone around? Somehow I got one of these world orbs, and that proves you're a human. Comes with an app, world app. You download it. It's proof of humanity. This thing would cut the bots out, cut the scalpers out immediately. Somehow I got one in my house. But the ticketing companies can't figure this out. You know why? Because every time, if you buy a ticket and go to a concert, you are their worst customer. They want that ticket to resell on their own platform so they can f everybody twice. They get the service charges, they get another, whatever, 17% or something, on top of all the other horse shit they're dicking you around with. So like I said from the beginning, I don't know if breaking Ticketmaster up solves the problem. I'm not sure if this orb solves it, but it's a step in the right direction. I know this. None of the ticketing companies are using it. Somehow I got one in my house. But they can't figure it out. They're full of shit. They could have stopped the bots years ago. They could have fixed this problem, and they haven't because they're greedy. So I hope they all go down personally, right to the bottom. And I hope we can figure out ticketing so us as artists, when we set a price, we can get the tickets into the hands of the fans at the prices we set. And I know that's not really I'm a capitalist to the bone, And there's some questions there, but these bad actors and other all the ticketing companies, and they're not even scalpers, brokers, whatever you want to call them, they've hid behind the disguise of capitalism for years. This is one that we need some regulations on, either a price cap. I'd say 10%. You can't resell a ticket for 10% like 15% like they do in some European countries. Or use this proof of human thing. Whatever it takes. I shouldn't be the one to figure it out. These motherfuckers should, but they haven't. They've done us for years. I hope they all go down. But really what I hope for is we can fix ticketing for the fans. And by the way, they've been the artists too, but I'm kind of second in that equation. I want the fans to be able to go to a show at the prices I set for my tickets, and most artists do. We'll see if any other artists get on board, by the way, with this lawsuit, and their management, if they want to talk and tell them about the bullshit that's going on for decades. A lot of them will out, straight up, all these outlaw country singers. There'll be a bunch of when they should speak up for their fans. Let's see if Pearl Jam steps up. They wanted to fix ticketing years ago. They probably won't, because they'll be like, oh, we hate Donald Trump. We have Trump derangement syndrome. All these other presidents could have done something. Bush, Obama, Clinton. They didn't do shit. Nobody has. Trump does. Trump is. We are. So, calling your bluffs right now. Let's see what happens. Rock on.
This public dare comes at a critical time. The federal government currently in the middle of a massive lawsuit against Live Nation and Ticketmaster, accusing them of running an illegal monopoly and using deceptive practices. With the government currently applying pressure, Kid Rock is trying to rally artists to join the fight. He obviously has connections with the Trump administration. He's a personal friend of the president. So, he's obviously in his ear on this subject, and we'll have to see what happens. I know in the comments on social media, there were a lot of people on the Rock Feed Instagram saying, look, I don't even like Kid Rock or his music, but I agree with him here on this subject that something needs to be done on ticketing. And again, in all fairness, it is a very nuanced issue. And in part, concert ticket prices have gone up because the cost of touring has risen exponentially. And so let me know what you all think down in the comments. Do you think Pearl Jam and other artists will be speaking up? We've seen artists in the past, people like Taylor Swift, who have actually been very vocal on this subject as well. We've seen other artists who have had unique approaches to ticketing, like the same ticket price for every seat in the venue. There are different ways that different artists have approached this. So let me know what you all think down in the comments. This is an issue that's been a problem for quite some time. That's your latest update here from Rock Feed. Be sure to subscribe and notifications on for the latest news and updates. I've reached out to Kid Rock. I'd love to have him here on the channel to talk about this. As of yet, no response.